And the big problem with the Biden administration is that they wanted it both ways. On the one hand, they didn't want to actually suggest what the off-ramp would look like. So they wouldn't set a goal. They wouldn't say, okay, the goal is to freeze the lines in place, to provide security guarantees to Ukraine sufficient so they don't get overwhelmed by the Russians, to provide a pathway forward for them economically, possible further integration with Europe. But that's the off-ramp. And so we're going to ramp up funding to get to that off-ramp. Instead, what they did is they said, we're just going to ramp up funding, and then we're going to let Ukraine define victory. Well, if you're Vladimir Zelensky, how do you go back to your people and say, okay, we're just surrendering Donbass and Crimea? You can't do that. I mean, there's no way for you to do that politically. So it would have required the United States to take an actual leadership position. Joe Biden wasn't willing to do that. And so we got the worst of both worlds. He was not funding them sufficient to actually stop the Russian war machine dead. Like, he wasn't giving them the Javelin missiles that they required. He wasn't giving them air cover. He wasn't giving them any of the things that they would have actually needed to, quote unquote, win the war. But then he also wouldn't define victory. So it was kind of a mess.